Yeah, he said to me one day when he was about eight years old that he wants to try boxing.
And what was your reaction to that?
No.
And for what reason didn't you want your son to box?
I was probably a little younger. I'm a little wiser now. Well, I'm a lot more wiser. But for some 7, 8 years, I told him no, every time he asked.
He knew I was boxing. I guess he had told me he didn't want me to box, and maybe that kind of, made me want to see what it was about even more. So, I went down to the local gym and trained, got beaten up my first day in the gym over 3 rounds. And I came out of that with the mindset that I was never going to let that happen to me again. I wanted to learn everything I could to stop something like that from happening. I've got a very competitive mindset, so I wanted to learn how to make sure that never happened again. And 2 or 3 weeks later, about a month later, I sparred the same guy again and battered him. So that's when I knew, okay, this is what I want to do here.
I sent him to Vegas, stayed there in Vegas. He didn't have transportation. He'd walk to the gym in 110-degree heat. He dealt with it. He dealt with the trainers. He dealt with all the Bengal lancers, chancers, the fly-by-nights, the wannabes, all of that rubbish, BS, you need to get underneath your belt. And he went and did that. And, within, I think, maybe within 3-4 fights, he was the North American Golden Glove champion. So, he has the mindset. He was taught the mindset and the ethic and the ethos. And he seems to want it more so than anything.
Vegas is a melting pot for, some of the best boxers in the world. They all the top fighters, they come there, they train there before they fight in these big casinos out there. They train in all the gyms. So obviously, my father knew that if I could survive in that atmosphere, then I could survive anywhere. And not only did I survive, I flourished. I think I won the Golden Gloves. I won 2 different Golden Glove tournaments and made it to the Nationals. And that was all within my first 5 to 10 fights. So, it was, there was a lot of tests out there, and I think I passed with flying colours.
He was in Cuba with me, boxing with the first team, getting his rump torn up, which is what a young fighter needs, hardship. If you don't have the hardship, and if you have support systems, you make nothing in boxing. Nothing. All these guys who are taking a drink now and then, going out once in a while saying, well, after all, I'm a human being. Surely I can have some life. No life at all. If you want to make the grade, you don't have a life. Your life belongs to boxing. Your health is second. Boxing is first. Training comes first, no matter what. When you have an injury, deal with it. You're supposed to have injuries. You're boxing, people are hitting you. How can you not be without injuries? Learn to accept, learn to love, learn to live with your injuries. This is what makes champions of genuine worth. So let's see what happens with this young man.
Was it your decision to turn pro with your father's old trainer, Ronnie Davies?
It was a group decision. We knew that Ronnie was, one of the best guys to oversee and to have as the guy that's controlling things and setting up sparring, helping with setting up the fights, and it was a group decision, and it was definitely the right one.
I think he'll be as good as his father, hopefully better. He's certainly showed it so far. What he is, you see him in the gym, he's phenomenal. I mean, to go up and hold his own, and sometimes more than hold his own with champions, and that's what he's done.
There's always a lot of people with high expectations. I've got this name that's been connected to boxing for so many years, and to have that name, there's going to be a lot of people watching your every move and, you know, poking holes in your performances and analysing everything that you do. So in that sense, you know, there is a pressure. But for me, I don't really see it as, I don't see that as a negative thing. I see that as something that pushes me to train harder, to fight harder and to perform better. You know, it's actually something I use to boost myself in my training and in my actual fights.
Watching your son box, do you feel the urge to get in the ring again yourself?
Oh,
do you ever
absolutely.
feel tempted?
Christ, yes. I was just talking to Nigel today. I said, come on, kid. We got to get it back on.
That's Nigel Benn, I take
Yes,
it.
yeah. He said, no, I'm finished. I'm in the church. I'm a happy man. You know, you think I'm joking.
Chris Senior was more eccentric, but I just went along with that. And but his son's the same. He's got totally his own mind. They were both. You got to step back. When you got someone with that talent, you got to step back and think. They go over there, they go. I never ruled Chris or nothing like that. You know.
I guess showmanship is, you know, that's definitely something that I've taken from him, and you know, it's not forced. It's not something that I'm doing because he did it. You know, I jumped the ropes since I was since my first amateur fight. You know, and it's something that I do to boost my morale, to get my adrenaline going.
I think he can go all the way, without a doubt. I'm not the only one. You look at him in training, he's world class. And when he spars, he has wars, he spars hard. And you can tell by that hard sparring what he's going to be like.
Well, in my view, he already has a capability to be a European champion at 3 fights. So you tell me. And you've got to say, well, we know Chris is a bit odd. Perhaps he's just talking oddly again. Or can you see my point? And if you can, then you tell me, how far can he go? Well, that is the spectacle. That is the question mark, and that is the $64 question. So we have a lot to look forward to in Channel 5. Switch on.
The dream for me is to become world champion, a world ranked / world champion middleweight. I'm sure that's a dream for every fighter, to become a world champion in their weight division, and you know, I'm no different.